Factoring trinomials using the rainbow method, example number 3. Step 1 is to write our expression in standard form, ax squared plus bx plus c. So here's our trinomial, 6x squared plus 13x minus 5. Step 2, we're going to find the a, b, and c. So a is equal to 6, b is equal to 13, and c is equal to 5. And we're not going to worry about the signs right now of these values. We'll take care of that later. Step number 3, we're going to multiply a times c. So here we have a times c is equal to 6 times 5, which gives us 30. Now we need to find all the factor pairs. We'll start with 1, we'll leave some space, and we'll write 30. 1 times 30 is 30. The next number that'll work will be a 2. 2 times 15 will give us 30. Let's check another number. 3. Yes, 3 will work. 3 times 10 will give us 30. Will 4 work? No, 4 was not a factor of 30. What about 5? 5 times 6 gives us 30. And you notice our factors have come together. The top has increased, the bottom has decreased. And there's no number between 5 and 6 that we could use. So we found all the factor pairs of 30. So we link our factor pairs. We'll start with 5 and 6. They go together. Then 3 and 10, the 30. 2 times 15, that gives us the 30. And 1 times 30 gives us the 30. So we've linked all our pairs together. Now let's find the sum and difference for each factor pair. On the upper corners, we'll have the sum of the factors. And on the lower corners, we'll have the difference of the factors. So for the first factors of 1 and 30, the sum is 31. And the difference is 29. 17, the sum of 2 and 15, and 13 is the difference of 2 and 15. We have 13 for the sum of 3 and 10, and the difference between 3 and 10 is a 7. For 5 and 6, our sum is 11, and our difference between 5 and 6 is a 1. So now we need to locate B and mark the pairs it's used. So we see from our list here that B is a 13. And here in an upper corner we have a 13, and we used the 3 and the 10 to form the 13. But in this rainbow, there's a second 13 down here. And we use the factors of 2 and 15 to form it. Which one do we use? Doesn't matter. We'll try one. If that works, we found the factors. If that doesn't work, we have a second option, and that's what the rainbow shows us. So let's start with the first one. We're going to rewrite our factor pair, 6x squared, leaving some space, minus 5 for the last term. And now we take the 13x, and we want to rewrite this with the 3 and the 10. So it'll be a 3x plus 10x will give us a positive 13x. That would work. So there's the first group that we'll use together. So we have a 13x. We're rewriting that or replacing it with a plus 3x and a plus 10x. Now we'll factor by grouping. Our first group, 6x squared plus 3x. Our second group is 10x minus 5. From the first group, we can factor a 3x, which will leave 2x plus 1. From the second group, factor a positive 5, which will leave us 2x minus 1. Now we'll check our expressions in parentheses, and we have a 2x plus 1. For the second one, we have a 2x minus 1. These are not identical factors. Let's try factoring a negative 5 from the second group. So from the first group, 3x, we have a 2x plus 1. In the second group now, we have a minus 2x plus 1. Checking these in the parentheses, again, these are not identical factors. And normally at this point, we would stop and say this is a prime trinomial and cannot be factored. But the rainbow shows us there's a second way, a second pair of factors we can use to form a 13. That's the 2 and the 15. So let's try here. We have a minus 2x plus 15x, and that gives us a positive 13x. So there's a second option that we can use and try. So let's rewrite our expression again. 6x squared, leaving some space, the last term, minus 5x, and replacing the 13x with a minus 2x plus 15x. Now let's do our factor by grouping. Our first group is 6x squared minus 2x. Our second group, 15x minus 5. From the first group, we can factor a 2x. That leaves us some 3x minus 1. From the second group, we can factor a positive 5. That leaves us a 3x minus 1. Checking these in the parentheses, and yes, they are both identical now, so we can continue. So factoring out the 3x minus 1 would leave us with a 2x plus 5. Let's multiply these factors to check. So using FOIL, the first product would be a 6x squared. The outer product would be a 15x. The inner product, minus 2x. And the last would be a minus 5. Combining our like terms, we have 6x squared plus 13x minus 5. And this is the original trinomial we started with. So we have found the factors of this trinomial. And that concludes factoring trinomials using Rainbow method, example number 3.